Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Vivi is now being a loving cat. He wasn't up being loving earlier today. Been trying to get his harness back on him for several days now. And I was trying to force it on him, and he wasn't going to have it. So I just walked away in anger, and then he comes at me with my ankle. He comes over and bites me on the ankle. This cat has such a temper, it drives me up the wall. For the first time in a long time, the memories of losing Elizabeth have come back to me. Somebody told me that it's Father's Day weekend this weekend, and they never got to have a Father's Day with Elizabeth. They took her on June 10th, and he didn't have her for Father's Day, which killed me because she was with him 24/7. If you don't know my story, we met a 19-year-old girl back in 1999 who claimed she didn't want her baby. She was introduced to us by a friend of ours. Um, so we were from New York, okay? So, and we couldn't afford a lawyer to adopt her, okay? So Dave drew up a written contract between him and the mother that we would take the baby and raise her. He really didn't look into the legalities of it. I put it all in his hands because I was working full time. It was a very stressful job, and I just couldn't have any other stresses on me. And the bad thing is, when I met that mother child, she gave me a very cold feeling. I didn't like her from the moment I met her, and I didn't trust her. And I told Dave that. I said, there's something about her that I just don't like. But he was so hell bent on me having a baby because I never could have a child. And so we went ahead with the agreement. We met her in December 1999, was friends with her all along the pregnancy. She brought a boyfriend with her every weekend. And then the baby was born on August 25th. I keep getting my years mixed up. You met her in 98 of December. And then Elizabeth was born August 25th, 1999. So when she was born, Dave talked to the mother and said, are you sure you don't want to bring the baby home to make sure that you don't want her? He said, I don't want to take her if you want to keep her. And she said, no, 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 I don't want that baby. If you don't take her, I'll just put her on the floor and leave her here. She was a very cold-hearted person. So we brought her home. Dave brought her home because I was working. And we were the happiest little family you could ever know. The bad thing is that Dave would let her take the baby out of the house to go visit her boyfriend's family. And he wouldn't listen to me. He wouldn't listen to our friends. We told him, I said, do not let her take that baby out of the house because they could very easily just take her and not bring her back. And in the beginning, he's like, well, if that happens, that happens. We'll just have to deal with it. But as the months went on, He and Elizabeth were together 24/7. He was on disability, so he couldn't work. So he and the baby were together, all the time. And of course, he grew very bonded to her. And of course, I bonded with her right away. We just, and then all these months from August till June of the following year, her mother was taking her out for day trips to Robert's family's house. And, everything seemed normal. Uh, they even had Thanksgiving dinner with us, which is what really kills me. You know, I thought we had all gone, I thought we had all grown close to each other. Dave was letting her be a part of Elizabeth's life. Elizabeth didn't like her. I knew very well Elizabeth didn't like her because she's had a very cold aura to her and a very dark aura. And Elizabeth didn't like it when she would hold her or seemed to go straight to her boyfriend. Elizabeth really bonded with the boyfriend, but not with her mother. So June 10th comes around. Okay, so we've had her since August of 99. And then here it is, June 2000. We're only 2 months away from her birthday. I already bought birthday presents for Elizabeth so we could have a party. Tons of clothes. We spent hundreds of dollars on the baby because we loved her. We had a top of the line stroller, top of the line crib, which she would never stay in because she always wanted to be with us. So we were sleeping with her. She was always in the bed with us in the middle. I mean, we had the best of everything for that child. And we even had started a college fund for her. And are you getting off? Okay. He was sleeping on Mama. So, I mean, we were totally prepared to raise this child. Unfortunately, this was Tennessee, not New York. Okay. We're from New York, me and Dave. So he figured that putting his name on the birth certificate would automatically make him the father of Elizabeth. Not so in Tennessee. If we were in New York, yes, he definitely would have been the official father of Elizabeth, and he chose to take the baby. Yeah, I know it's very shady, but he just, I was so distraught since I was 32 years old when I had my hysterectomy that I couldn't have children. So Dave was going to do anything he could to get this baby for me because her mother made it clear she didn't want the child. So, of course, nothing was really done properly and legally. So, legally, her mother was the sole guardian of Elizabeth, really, legally. So, when they decided one day, they took her out for a day trip somewhere. We were at a flea market. I had called home to the house to check my answering machine, and we got a message from the boyfriend. We're keeping Elizabeth, we're not bringing her back. Talk about devastation. I mean, we had her from the day she was born. And apparently, all along, they were planning to take her when he was out of college. We had no idea. There were red flags all during those 9 months. I didn't like the boyfriend. I didn't like the mother. And we actually felt like we were saving that child because those two, vehemently said, "We do not want this baby. You keep the baby. We don't want her." But on June 10th, they decided to take her and not bring her back. So That started 4 years of deep mourning for me. And like I said, it wasn't really done correctly and legally. So her mother took her, and there was nothing we could do because Dave was not her biological father. Now, he went further with this, and he went to the courthouse and filed something at the courthouse. He's going to go to court to try to get Elizabeth back. Okay. And the form he filled out said that he was the biological father. He lied. That was in July, so we didn't have the court date till December. And during all of this time, somebody keeps calling us and hanging up. Calling us and hanging up. Finally caught her, and I knew it was her, the mother. I said, "Why do you keep calling us? Leave us alone." They had sent us a restraining orders telling us that we could not see the baby. Guess what, though? It was not signed. Even though it wasn't signed and it really wasn't valid, we honored that request as much as it hurt. And I knew where they're living. So every once in a while, I was obsessed with the child. I had her for so long. I would go into their parking lot and turn off all the lights and stare into the apartment, thinking I could, I'd love to see her. But they always had the blinds down. I was obsessed. I mean, 9, 10 months I had that child. We had her. We loved her so much, you know, and we ran to their apartment to try and get her back. But the mother said, "I'm the mother. You're not the biological father. You can't have her. You don't have a leg to stand on." And he really didn't. He really didn't. So when we went to court in December, the judge was very, very rude and very mean. She's got a bad reputation. She's really a bitch. So she started out and said, "Oh, I believe this is a custody hearing for this child." And I don't remember the exact words, but she scared him so bad that he had to admit that he wasn't the biological father. And then the judge got mad. She said, "What do you mean you're not the biological father?" You know? Right, because the mother wanted a DNA test to prove that Dave wasn't the baby's father. But once he admitted that he wasn't the father, that was the end of that. You know, her mother had permanent custody of her, and I got to see her a couple more times, but not Dave. So I don't know what their deal with Dave was. He was a great father. He took care of that baby. They claimed they were going to let me continue to see her, but I saw her maybe 2 or 3 times, and the child was deteriorating. She was losing weight. She looked very despondent. It broke my heart. I had to stop going because it hurt so bad to see her deteriorating like that. She had so much love with us. We were always holding her, we were always kissing her. She started calling us mama and daddy. She was almost 10 months old. So I couldn't take it anymore. They made accusations about Dave that were absolutely ridiculous. Obviously they never had kids because they would come up with these stupid ass comments like, "Well, he touches her little thing when he changes her diapers." And I said, "You idiot, he has to clean her after a baby goes poo poo or pee pee. You have to clean her up. And I was there when they changed her diaper, and she had the worst diaper rash I've ever seen in my life. It was horrible. Those two knew nothing about raising a baby. So that's what infuriated us most of, the fact that we lost her was very, very traumatizing to both of us. Dave was even suicidal. He he was so attached to her. And then they take her the Saturday before Father's Day. The day before Father's Day is when they took her. And for some reason this year it's all flooding back. I was in somebody's live and they mentioned it was Father's Day, and I'm like, it just hit me. Just hit me. It was like they took her the day before Father's Day, and Dave never got to spend it with his daughter. You know, she had her last name, so she was Elizabeth Darcy. Now, so that was in 2000. I finally started getting therapy in 2003, maybe 2003, early 2004, maybe. And it took me a very long time to. Let me sit up. Took me a very long time to get over it. I mean, you never really get over something like that, but it took me years and years and years. Because the problem was, we didn't know where they were, what they were doing with her, if she was happy. Now, I do have psychic abilities, okay? I can look at a picture of somebody, and I would get a sense of feeling, and I sensed she was not happy. So, it broke my heart because we knew she wasn't going to be happy with him. They don't ever say "I love you." They were never demonstrative with love that way. Her mother just thought of her as a moneymaker. She said, "Oh, I'm going to get a big tax refund now that I have the baby." Her mother was greedy and money hungry. So, I lost my train of thought. Darn it. I just, I felt so bad for her. So, 2004, I started therapy. I discovered Keith Urban. Keith was the one who actually helped me to start healing, believe it or not. That is why I'm such a big fan of Keith Urban, because I saw him on the CMT summer program concert from Daytona Beach. I don't know what it was, but I fell for him. For some reason, he touched my soul. That started my healing. I am going to continue this on the next video.